Whoa. Well, hello there. Welcome to Scara Scream Theater. My name is Scara, Damsel of the Doomed, and I am coming to you live on YouTube and on Instagram. But you may not be seeing me live. You may be seeing me later, or you may just be listening to me on your favorite podcast platform, and that's all right. I have my comments enabled so I can talk to you guys whenever you pop in to say hello. And if you want, you can always call me and leave me a voicemail. That phone number is 512-710-8766. I wanted 8666, but I think that was taken. So it's 512-710-8766. You can call me, ask me a question, leave me a comment, whatever you want. I'll play your phone call on the air. And speaking of, let's do that right now, shall we? We have a phone call. Let's hear it, the voicemail, right now.
Hello, this is your biggest fan, Jack Matthews. And which one's your favorite Saw movie? I like either the first one, the second one, the sixth one, or the 10th one. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think Jack, I know Jack. He's a true horror fan. He's a young man, and he lives and breathes horror. He also, he not only watches horror movies, but Jack enjoys reading about horror, reading horror stories. He likes Stephen King and whatnot. Jack, I think my favorite Saw movie is probably the first one, because it's how Saw got its name. You know, that one, the scene. I'm not spoiling anything. Saw came out, 2004-ish. So, yeah, the first Saw came out in 2004. So I'm not spoiling anything. So the way Saw got its name, somebody had to saw an appendage off of their body, right? I like it for that reason. And I also like it because of the ending. There was a really good creative, I don't want to say twist ending, but there was a surprise. I mean, maybe you can, I guess it is a twist ending, but it was a surprise. It got me. It got me, gal. I didn't see it coming. And I love that, because so many times we see what's coming, you know, a mile away in movies. It feels like everybody's kind of writing formaically, and, you know, like, oh, after page number 3, there's already got to be a scare, and, you know, 20 minutes in, you got to introduce the protagonist or whatever. And so I think that formulaic writing leads to good movies a lot of the times. But it also leads to people like realizing the formula and knowing what's going to happen. So, you know, which isn't terrible. Like, there's a lot of movies that I knew what was happening, you know, before it happened, but I still enjoyed the movie. When I heard somebody the other day say something about how the studios these days, they're not making necessarily good movies. They're just making big movies. They're not making movies that are, you know, from artists as much as they're making movies as a business. You know, Hollywood, it's show business, right? And so they say, whoever it was I heard talking about this, I wish I could remember, they said it's not an art, it's commerce at that point, whenever they're making movies like based on what's going to get them the most money, you know. And it seems to be superhero movies these days, one after a freaking other. Boy, I am sick of it. I watched the new Superman. I know this isn't horror, but I watched the new Superman the other day, and I was like, maybe this is the one for me. You know, maybe this will be the superhero movie that I like. And don't get me wrong, I liked all of the early X-Men. I really did, but it's just enough is enough after a while. As far as the new Superman goes, I liked it enough, you know, but I mean, the Superman was attractive, and he harkened back to the OG, as did Lois Lane. She was very much like the OG Lois Lane from the movies, the first one. Sorry, I'm playing with my cameras. Look at me go. Look at me switcherooski. Anyway, that's all to say. That Saw 1, I didn't see it coming. Okay, Jack? What a bunny trail I went on. Anyway, Jack's rad. Jack, you can call in anytime you want. And if you make it to Austin someday, you can be on the show. 512-710-8766. Jack is our very first caller to Scary Scream Theater, and therefore he will have a pass to be on Scary Scream Theater, live and in person. What else did I want to tell you guys? I have my book here. This is the book I write all of my sermons in when I do my live show, Scary Scream Theater, out at Doc's Drive-In Theater. I used to do them on the first Thursday of every month, but I switched to Sundays. So last podcast, I talked to you guys about pieces, and I missed my podcast on Monday. Sorry about that. I had a family emergency I had to attend to. It's all good now. Anyway, last week, I was going to tell you about what I'm going to tell you about tonight, which is the second movie I screened at Scary Scream Theater was in October of 2023. I mean, 2023. That'd be wild if I was doing it that long. Anyway, I decided for October, I wanted to show a Halloween horror movie. Before I get into what I actually showed, my definition of Halloween horror, the epitome of the best Halloween horror for me is something that is set during Halloween. It features a lot of Halloween costumes and Halloween decorations in the movie. The holiday itself is somehow featured, the lore of the holiday, or maybe they introduce a creature that is associated with the lore of Halloween. Those are the best for me. So when I decided on the very first Scary Scream Theater, what was I going to show? I chose Halloween 3 from 1982. Now, there's a lot of Halloween horror movies out there, but there's not a lot that have all of those elements in it. And Halloween 3 does. And the one I'm going to show this month for this year is another one that's like, chef's kiss. Maybe I'll tell you about that at the end. But for now, let me just, real quick, we're just going to dive in a smidgen to Halloween 3. This isn't going to be like, I'm not going to sit here and play it and tell you everything that happened in Halloween 3. Hell no, I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because I think you should do that your damn self. Just watch the movie. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like it when people tell you all this stuff about the movie. Just fucking watch the movie. God. What? It's a visual medium. You know, go watch it. Listen to me tell you about it. But I will tell you about like kind of how it came to be and whatnot. So Halloween 3 is the best sequel of any horror movie there is. And what I mean by that is it's like a bottle episode. Do you know what a bottle episode is? In a television series, they have things sometimes called bottle episodes, where it's an episode that can be taken outside of the universe of that series and it can live on its own. It has nothing to do with the series otherwise, other than the fact that it just happens to be episode 8 of whatever, you know. A lot of shows do it. It's sometimes a way to introduce new writers in the series or just to get creative or a ratings boost or whatever it is. It's called a bottle episode. And Halloween 3 was an unintentional kind of, well, anyway, it was a bottle episode. What happened? Well, first, should I tell you, it was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. It was produced by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. It starred the lovely and powerful and strong and amazing Tom Atkins. And it was written by Nigel Neal, adapted by JC and Tommy Lee Wallace. JC being John Carpenter. You can call him JC when you know him like I do. Just kidding, I don't know him. In my notes, I wrote JC, I guess, to save paper. So what happened was, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, they wrote Halloween, right? The perfect Halloween horror movie in their eyes. They're the perfect horror movie in their eyes. So to capitalize on it, they didn't want to make another Halloween. They didn't want to do a sequel because they felt that they did everything in the first one and left no crumbs. You know what I mean? Gomez, do you mind? Sorry, my dog's right behind me. It's okay. He could do whatever he wants. He's a good boy. Anyway, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, they felt like Halloween was good as it was, perfect as it was, and they didn't need a sequel. You know, why? Why do that? So they were just going to write another horror movie that took place during Halloween, and those would be the sequels. So different. Every year they would have a new one, and it would take place during Halloween, but it wouldn't be about Mike Myers. What a fantastic and fun idea. However, the studios wanted a sequel. So John Carpenter and Deborah Hill wrote Halloween 2, okay? But they killed off Mike Myers in that sumbitch because they didn't want to keep doing Mike Myers movies. So they killed off that motherfucker. And then they sought out director Joe Dante and this Nigel Neal, who was a British sci-fi writer, to write a screenplay. And they did, but John Carpenter didn't really think it was it would translate well. So he kept about 60% of it, and then he rewrote it. And then Tommy Lee Wallace, the director of Halloween 3, he adapted it. A lot of the times that's what happens. Directors will get a script and then they'll agree to do the movie if they can adapt it and make it their own, make it something that fits a vision of what they want to direct. Also, I think it gives them a bit of a writer's credit and it gives them extra money. But that's just what I'm thinking. Anyway, so Tommy Lee Wallace adapted it, and he made it shorter and gorier. I'm not going to complain about it. There's no Michael Myers in this movie, okay? He dead already, although we know he came back a million times. There was no Laurie Strode in this movie. And because of that, I mean, don't forget, they already had Halloween 1 and 2 with Michael Myers. And because he wasn't in 3, people were pissed. People were pissed, boy. They were not having it. And the movie didn't do super hot at the box office. When people found out it wasn't a Mike Myers movie, but it was called Halloween 3, people were so angry. I, for one, kind of wish that Halloween, the series, went in the way that John Carpenter and Deborah Hill envisioned. How amazing would it be to have a new Halloween horror movie every year? Come on. God. But nope, that's not what happened. Instead, what happened was it didn't do super well at the box office, and it became like the Lost Halloween movie almost. But as often time will do, time was kind to Halloween 3. And people love that fucking movie, boy. People absolutely love the merchandise of Halloween 3. They love the story of Halloween 3. They love the Tom Atkins of Halloween 3. They love the Silver Shamrock song, which is actually, the song, it goes, 8 more days till Halloween, 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 8 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. That's actually London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Sped up, okay? Because they could get that. There was no rights to that song anymore. It fell under fair use or whatever, so they just used it. And they knew if they sped it up and like creeped it out a little bit, people would be like, that's a familiar, catchy tune. Of course it is. It's London Bridge. Oh gosh, I just hit the microphone, my bad. Anywho's, so Halloween 3 came out. It didn't do well. The executive producer was furious, and he was like, we're not doing this crap anymore. And then, Carpenter never did another Halloween after that. And they brought Mike Myers back, which is cool. It's fine. But Halloween 3 is a beloved Halloween movie now. It's a beloved one. It's a lot of people's favorite in the series is Halloween 3, which is so funny because there is no Mike Myers. I'm trying to think if it's my favorite. I think it's my second favorite because I really do like Halloween 1. I like Halloween 1 for a variety of reasons. it introduced that style of horror along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas. And it introduced that style of slasher flick. And it ushered in a whole new genre of horror for us. So we thank you, John Carpenter. Ooh, my belt's a little tight, girl. Look at I'm wearing a new bat necklace. Okay, what are some other things speaking of Halloween, some other things I want to talk about real quick, real fast, are, you know what bothers me? This is the segment I call, you know what bothers me? Trunk or treating. Whose Aunt Sally invented trunk or treating? When I was a child, I went to a Catholic school for a brief period. And I also went to a Catholic church with my fam. And of course I did. Why is it always that Catholic people become obsessed with witchcraft? Anyways, it's because there's all that magic going on the altar, I think. Sacrilegious, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we would have these Halloween carnivals at school, and the rule was you had to dress like a saint for a while. But they only kept that rule for like a year or two, and I don't know if parents complained or what, but it was some bullshit having to go dress like a damn saint to get your bobbing for apples on. You know what I mean? Like, what in the frick? But still, it was better than trunk or treating. Dressing like a saint and going to a Catholic school carnival to get candy was still better than trunk or treating. What the frick? What is trunk or treating? People go to a church parking lot or something, or some parking lot, right? And they circle their cars like wagons, and they open up their trunks, and a lot of them, I guess, decorate their trunks with, like, how? I would like to know. I want to infiltrate. I'm going to find a trunk or treat this year, and I'm going to infiltrate, and I'm going to take a video, and then they're probably going to arrest me and say that I'm videotaping children or something. But no, I want to videotape your trunk or treat and the disappointment on the kids' faces. Because what fun is that? What do? Drive up, and then the kid just walks from car to car, sucking in exhaust fumes and the fumes of failure. What is the kid doing? Just going to a trunk and getting a handful of mini Snickers? Is it even nighttime? I bet they do that shit in broad daylight in the Sam's parking lot. I bet you could smell the tire section of Sam's just seeping into the parking lot as a kid gets a handful of that $5 bag of jumbo candy you get at H-E-B. Why can't we just do trick-or-treating? Why can't we just do trick-or-treating? You know, there's really not any problems with trick-or-treating. There was like one time, once ever, someone put some shit in the candy. Gosh. Nobody's getting kidnapped at a trick-or-treating event. If you're worried, just go with your kids. Or you could be cool and let your kids just go. When I was a kid, the pack of kids went out in the neighborhood. We would roam the streets. There was strength in numbers. And it was fun. It was it was the best night of the year. Better than Christmas. Roaming with your buddies around the neighborhood, and you would try to go to the rich neighborhood if you could, you know, because they give out the big candy bars. Now, like at whenever I used to be at home for Halloween, and I love passing out candy. I love it. I would decorate my garage. It would be amazing. And we'd sit out there and the kids would come up, because if they came to the door and rang the doorbell, my dogs would go crazy. So anyway, I am okay with people that want to sit in their driveway and the kids come up, but just be at the house. Let the kids roam the neighborhood and see the decorations in the yard and all the creepy stuff your neighborhood has to offer. Trunk or treating, I'm going to start a petition. I'm going to start a petition to end it, make it illegal. It just disturbs me. I keep hitting this microphone. I apologize. Anyway, if you love trick-or-treating, you can suck a fat one. Did I say trick-or-treating? Whoops, I meant trunk-or-treating. That's the other thing, calling it trunk or treating. Why don't you call it what it really is? Failure. Disappointment. Failure and disappointment. That's what it really is. Martha telling me it's trunk or treat and get the fuck out of here. What else? I was going to save some Halloween talk for, because, you know, we've got several weeks before the actual night's here. So I'm going to give you a preview. What I want to talk about next time for Halloween, my Halloween talk, is going to be about costumes. Maybe I should talk about that now. I also want to talk about pumpkin smashing. Smashing pumpkins. Not the band, but the activity. Okay. And then there's pumpkin carving. We could talk about. All right, there's plenty to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and real quick dive into Halloween costumes. For small children, you know what? No, screw that. I think the best Halloween costumes are scary. Scary, 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 or scary. Those are the best. Be a witch, be a vampire, be a zombie, be a mummy, be a Frankenstein's monster, be, any horror movie killer. Anything creepy would be amazing. Be a giant bat, be a giant spider, be a snake. Be the creature from the Black Lagoon, okay? Be a giant pumpkin-headed fella. Come up with something creepy. Anything scary is the best Halloween costume. If you got blood, you got some fake blood, you could squirt on you. 10s across the board. I'm here for it. I don't like princesses. Can't you be a princess whenever you want? You know? You sure are cute, kiddo. But this right here is Halloween. This is the night that the dead and other things walk amongst the living to mingle with us. And you want to walk around looking like a princess? No, you got to look like them. You got to look like the monsters. So they're cool to you. You don't want to look like Mario and Luigi. You want to look like a damn vampire. Or a ghoul. Or a goblin. Or an alien even. That's fine. You don't want to look like Minecraft. Whatever those creepers. That's ridiculous. That looks dumb. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, let's fast forward to when you're older and college age. Can we just not with the sexy version of everything anymore? Can we stop? Oh, look at me. I'm sexy Luigi Mangione, you know? No. You don't have to be a sexy blank, fill in the blank. But if you're gonna, just be a sexy vampire or a sexy witch. And you know what you have to do to be a sexy witch or a sexy just be a vampire or a witch. They're sexy inherently. Even the hags. Even the hags. Okay? Those are my rules for Halloween costumes. It's just better if you're scary. And it's lame if you're not. Sort of, usually. Now, if out at Bat City, you're going to come to me, and if you're dressed like, whatever Disney princess or whatever, Labubu or whatever hell is popular, I'm going to be like, oh, look at you. And I'll give you a damn candy anyway, because I'm nice. But if you come and you are looking creepy, I am going to offer you all the praise in the world and give you extra candy and maybe an extra gift because I appreciate the effort. I do. Yeah. It's Halloween. Be scary. It's not Christmas pageant, This isn't your quinceañera. This isn't your birthday. It's Halla frickin' Ween. The veil is thin. Do you or do you not want the ghouls to take you back to the other side? Okay? Jeez. It's like people don't know the rules anymore. Speaking of, that brings me to what I'm going to be showing on October 5th at Scare Scream Theater out at Doc's Drive-In Theater. I am going to be showing one of the best Halloween horror movies. I'll give you a hint. In this movie, they establish some rules you got to follow. The rules are to pass out candy, to dress up, and to never blow out the candle of a jack-o'-lantern. Okay? Remember that? This movie came out in 2007. It features Sam. It's a horror anthology, and they all take place during Halloween, and they all kind of connect. There's 3 movies in one. Anyway, if you don't know what it is by now, then fool, I don't know what to tell you. Go look at my Instagram here in a little bit, and or on my Facebook, and you'll see the flyer for it. I don't say the names of the movies, you know what I mean, until after I've already shown them. But you can guess what I'm showing. It's one of the best Halloween horror movies. It has everything. There's Halloween costumes, Halloween lore, a Halloween creature. It interconnects. I love it. You're going to love it too. Other good Halloween horror movies include Pumpkinhead, if you're interested. Terrifier 2. It takes place during Halloween, and there's a great trick-or-treating scene, so I'm going to keep it in my good list. And then there's Trick or Treat from 1986, which I really looked into showing because Ozzy Osbourne has a brief cameo in it, and we just lost Ozzy, R.I.P. But I watched it, and it's one that I don't think I saw as a child, but I watched it to see if I wanted to screen it, and I'm going to hold off on it. I know a lot of people like it. A lot of dudes of a certain age love the original Trick or Treat from 1986. And it's fun, you know. It's all right. It's all right. Idle Hands is another good Halloween horror movie. Any of those I would say go check out. And then there's haunted house movies, you know, like haunted attraction movies. Those are fun to show during Halloween as well. But I'm going to show something else from 2007. And if, you know, I already gave you the dangle. I gave you all of the hints you're going to get out of me. Speaking of Bat City, the Immortals, my band, will be playing there October 25th and October 31st. I wish we were playing more. We used to play every Saturday out there. But things happen, you know, I guess. People have stuff to do. The world doesn't revolve around me after all. After all. Wednesday, which is tomorrow, I'm going to be on the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. That's right, the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. That's Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I'll be taping the for the Horrible podcast, HORRORBLE. I want to say horrible, but it's horrible. I guess horrible. That's hard to say. We'll see how they say it. It's a new podcast. I'll be on that one on October 1st. No, October 2nd. October 1st is the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. October 2nd is the Horrible podcast. Horrible podcast. What else is going on out there? I'd love for you to call in and tell me what your favorite Halloween horror movie is. Where's that phone number? 512-710-8766. If you have a favorite Halloween horror movie, I'd love to hear about it. If you have a favorite Halloween movie in the series, I'd love to hear about it. If you want to answer Jack's question, which is your favorite Saw movie from the Saw series, we'd love to hear about that too. Saw is an interesting series, my friend. I have to admit, I have not seen every movie in the Saw series. I remember I went and saw saw Spiral with Chris Rock. And that one was one that was like so predictable. I was just kind of like, at that point, I was kind of over it, you know? Over it. Sorry, I had to have a sip. So I think, oh, look, I have not been paying attention, but here we go. Look what I can do. Zoe said, trunk or treating is for loaders. I'm thinking she meant losers. Zoe, did you mean loaders? Or losers? I don't know. Yeah. Or is loaders some kind of a slang word that I'm not aware of? I'm not sure. I don't know if I was trying to stream on both Instagram Live and on YouTube, and I haven't been seeing any Instagram Live comments. So I don't know if this is working, but we'll find out after I post. So I think we're going to wrap her up now. I'll be back next Monday, and I'm going to tell you about, let's see, what did I show next? I think, the movie I screened next during the first year of Scary Scream Theater after Halloween 3 in November. I screened from 1988, Night of the Demons, which was super fun. I love that movie, and I'm excited to just tell you a few things about it. Until then, give me a call, 512-710-8766, and we can, play you on my show. Ask me a question, leave me a comment. Do as thou wish. What? I don't know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back on Monday. You guys take her sleazy.